Hello YouTube, I'm Tyler with a Hobby and Development, and
I'm Josh.
and in this video, we're going to be talking about Josh and his interests in the hobby, how he got started in it, and a little bit about him. So, Josh and I have known each other about, what do you say?
9 years.
Since ninth grade-ish? Yeah,
He was in 9th grade, I was in 10th grade. So, yeah. I think 10 years will be... Yeah, I think next year's 10 years, yep.
So, acquaintances, right?
Just acquaintances, yeah.
So before we get into the meat and potatoes, I just want to mention that if you go to the link down below, please check out our Patreon page and support us there. Also pop a link down in there for our Facebook page where you can catch updates on some of the smaller stuff we're working on. Please feel free to leave a comment down regardless of what you think of the video, anything that you'd like to see in the future. Also, there's going to be the dog staring at me. Come on up. Oh. Itching. There's going to be a video after action report for the Titanicus battle report that's going to be freely available on YouTube. That's going to be Patreon exclusive, and then it'll be on YouTube after the exclusive period is over with. So that's our plan for today. We're going to play Adeptus Titanicus. I've got the table all set up. I'm using some Kill Team Deathworld for us to fill in the blanks. I think it looks better. We've got some of the Imperial, the Civitas buildings for Adeptus Titanicus. And I think it kind of looks cool with some of the Deathworld forest stuff on the board. It looks like an alien overgrown, woods and forests, and there's kind of like an Imperial outpost. And then I've got a 4x4 game mat from Frontline Gaming. I order a lot of my stuff from Frontline Gaming. So yeah. That's going to be what we're going to be doing today. You can check that separate video out. It's going to be on YouTube and on the Patreon page. So you and I got into the hobby at about the same time, right?
The story on that is kind of disputed. You
bought me my first models.
So
I don't know who decided to do it.
Apparently he thinks I got him into it. For his birthday, apparently I got him interested in Warhammer 40k. He's like, oh, well, I might want to do this. So for his birthday, I got him his first set of Tau, what was it, Fire Warriors or Pathfinders?
Yeah, you got me a box of Pathfinders and Cadre Fireblade.
Cadre Fireblade.
Come on.
Yeah, one of our teachers, he likes to post some of his Warhammer 40k models, Eldar stuff. I think what happened is one of our teachers,
former teachers from my school.
Teachers, he likes to post a lot of his Eldar stuff online, and I think I might have said, hey, cool, look at what Pat's doing, and he's like, oh, cool, I think I might like to do that. So birthday idea, bought him some Cadre Fireblade and
Fire Warriors for Tau and 40k.
And then he started painting those, and I got Dark Vengeance set, I believe. That was Chaos Marines versus Dark Angels. And our first match was horrible.
Floorhammer. I'll post a picture up in here of our Floorhammer.
It was 2 squads of tactical squads, and librarian and
actually, I don't know if I have a picture of our first game. I might, but I think I had like a Riptide.
And he had a Riptide.
I bought a Riptide. Yeah, I'm sorry for what I did to you on that.
He's just sitting way back.
Never like a Riptide in a low point game.
Yeah, that was bad. And that was back in 7th edition too. And the rules for 7th edition were just almost kind of sort of beyond our grasp. And when 8th edition came out, we decided, since 8th edition was coming out soon, that we were just like, nah, we'll just call it quits for 7th edition. We might watch other people play it, but we're not gonna.
Well, he called it quits for 7th edition. I just couldn't find anybody to play with at the time.
I called it quits because,
to be fair, it was pretty confusing, and we weren't in it for very long. So
it was basically, why learn this entire another edition when in a couple months we're gonna have to learn another edition anyway. So
Meanwhile, all I did was paint.
and I watched him paint.
We spent a couple of good nights painting. You got a lot of your original army painted.
Sure.
Well, base coated. You did a couple of pretty good models.
Base coat, yeah.
But that army didn't last long.
No, my problem is I'm very nitpicky, kind of OCD, and I take way too long painting models that shouldn't even matter, like in basic infantry. And then by the time I get this one model done and perfect, now I got 9 more to do, and I'm just like, oh, I'm done. Can't do it.
I think you'll eventually get quicker. You'll learn some shortcuts and some tips and tricks.
Well, now that Kill Team has come out, there's a lot of smaller battles, and it kind of makes me want to get back into painting the infantry, because now in Kill Team that each infantry is its own person, its own unique person, and now there's a reason to be detailed in your painting.
I think that'll help with your normal 40K army. Which did you get into your current 40K army before 8th edition dropped, or around the same time 8th edition dropped?
I think that's a tough one. I think it was right around the time 8th edition dropped, because it was right between that period where we just didn't. I can't say we, but I just didn't want to play 7th edition because I didn't want to get invested into something that was just going to go away anyway. So I was trying to use that time to figure out what army I really wanted to play, because I wasn't really sure I wanted to play Chaos Marines or Dark Angels. So I was just trying to go on Games Workshop site and figure out what looked cool. And I
What did you settle on?
I settled on Dark Eldar, or what they're now referred to as Drukhari. Drukhari.
I still call them Dark Eldar.
They got to have those copyright.
It's a valid reason. So, Dark Eldar. And have you played with your Dark Eldar army?
Kind of in Kill Team. We played 1 or 2 matches with Dark Eldar. They're very much the epitome of Dark Eldar glass cannons. If you don't get the damage out, they're going to go poof in the next turn.
That being said, once you learn, if you learn and start playing 40K in 8th edition, they're one of the top armies. They're just so mobile and damaging. I'm telling you, 3 Ravagers, your gunships,
yeah.
3 Ravagers with disintegrator cannons, putting out a lot of hurt.
Yeah, I'm still fairly new at this. I really don't play very many games. I just have to.
You have to find the time. Your thing is finding the time to put together your models and to paint them. That's also my problem.
I still have a Tantalus at home that I haven't.
We won't even talk about the Tantalus. I'm trying to get you to let me paint your stuff, and you won't. I think I'm just going to end up buying your army for you as Christmas gifts.
I am not opposed to that.
So does that mean that we haven't played any 8th edition with your army?
I don't think so. No.
No, we played. You remember? I know you do. On the computer.
Oh yeah. There was a
Tabletop simulator.
Yeah, and I had Warhammer 40K.
So we played a bunch of games together, even though you don't have a fully assembled army on Tabletop Simulator. It's not a bad platform, but it definitely is not the equivalent of playing on the table.
There's a lot of glitches.
Yeah.
Models go flying off the screen.
And of course, I've been playing, even though I'll admit it, I don't win a lot in 8th edition.
Against me.
Except against you. So I was trying out, where did I try out against you? We did Tau, I did Astra Militarum, Adeptus Mechanicus.
Mechanicus, yeah.
Did you try anything other than Dark Eldar at the time?
I don't remember. I don't think so. I think I might have mixed in some regular Eldar. I might have thrown in like a
Wraith Knight.
Yeah, but not a completely different army.
So your thing is Kill Team then? You like Kill Team?
We recently had a 4-way match. Excuse the slip of tongue, but a 4-player match, and that was pretty fun. It was my thing that everyone got mad at me about is I didn't play to win, and they're, well, you're just wasting our time then. But that's how I had fun. I had fun dictating who might win, who might not win, ruining other people's
It's 'cause
plans.
you didn't have the power to win that one.
No,
You
but
knew it.
I had the power.
You
to
could
influence.
have, but yeah. If you would have attacked me more, you could have
No, because then
probably won
the
that.
Necrons would have won. It was Necrons, Tau, Harlequins, and Tyranids, and Necrons won. The Necrons always win, and
You just have a thing against Necrons. I personally like Necrons,
except for the centipedes.
except for the centipedes.
I don't know what they're
I
called, but
can't
they're like metal centipedes.
Yeah.
Gross.
But we've played a couple of games here with Harlequins against Dark Eldar.
Harlequin's very, very good.
Yeah, I think I actually prefer Shocker Tau.
Really?
Yeah. After playing a couple of games with the Tau versus playing a couple of games with Harlequins, I think they're more forgiving and they have a lot more options. I think what's true of Harlequins in 40K is also true of them in Kill Team. Is they're a one trick army. You know they're gonna get up in your face. You know they're gonna hurt.
Right.
Very, very easy to deal with if you know what they're gonna do. Just blob them.
Mm-hmm.
Their 4+ save doesn't really help against just
Overwhelming
firepower.
Yeah.
What else did we play? We played Chaos Space Marines.
Yeah, I actually played, I think, 1 or 2 matches with Chaos, and I think it was Tau, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
I did Tau. That was really our first couple of games of Kill Team. Didn't really know much about them. I think
We played
threw in.
narrative player, campaign player,
Yeah.
or something like that.
We-
With upgrading stats and whatnot.
We played one game with my Adeptus Mechanicus. I've played a bunch of games with some other various people. I played Adeptus Mechanicus against Orcs, and by all statistical.
Orcs and Astra Militarum together.
No, that was Thousand Suns and
Thousand
Astra
Suns.
Militarum. No, this was
Oh,
before. This was at the barn. I played against somebody with. We played Tau versus Thousand Suns, and it came down to if my opponent rolled this number on the dice, he was going to win. If he didn't, I was going to win. That's how close that game came, and he won. I think it was if it was a tie game, the defender won, and he was the defender, so he won. Yeah. But then I played Adeptus Mechanicus against Orcs, and by all statistical purposes, I should have at least done better. I think that's the worst I've ever rolled. I know that statistically speaking, the dice are always, they end up being 50-50, but I tell you that game, I made 0 saves, I made less than half of my hits, and by turn 2 I was tabled and it was over. I want a rematch against Orcs.
You need to get new dice. It's just those red dice of yours, they always suck you.
Well, the last couple of games when I played, we had a 3-person game, Thousand Suns, Harlequins versus Keegan with his Astra Militarum. Yeah. And we were playing Commanders, which if you haven't played Commanders, it adds so much more to the game.
Different level of depth.
Yeah. So he brought a bare bones commander at a 200-point game and something like 15-20 grunts. And I had my Harlequins, and Yuka had his Thousand Suns, and we both, not necessarily intentionally ganged up on Keegan. It just ended up that I really didn't have a lot of line of sight on anything, or couldn't realistically charge any of his stuff would survive.
Astra Militarum was your only viable target.
So we whittled away so many units over the course of 3 or 4 turns. By all rights, one of us should have won, but Keegan won with his Astra Militarum by just the sheer number of shots that he could absorb with his expendable men. And I think that's what Adeptus Mechanicus is supposed to be. It's just your expendable grunts get out there and die. It's what you're supposed to do.
Militarum. You said that's Adeptus Mechanicus.
Oh, Militarum, yeah. Well, those guys too.
Yeah.
So he just whittled it away, and I was doing some dirty tricks with the Harlequins with their insane flip belts where they can pretty much go anywhere.
Jump through terrain like it wasn't there.
I put the sniper, the Death Jester. I put him on top of a crane. And Yukon and I made a deal with each other that I wasn't going to shoot him with that if he would let it live, so I could try to do some dirtiness on Keegan's commander. And I whiffed, and then Yukon wiped me out. And I think actually he didn't. I think Keegan got the kill on that, and that's what won him the game. By killing one important person, he won that game. And he just withheld. That was one of the all-time best games. And then there was the game where you and I played, with the 4-person game.
Oh yeah, with the Necrons and the Tyranids and
whatnot. Oh, actually, this was the game that right before you showed up. It was Keegan and I were playing.
Keegan,
You showed up right in the middle of it.
Mm-hmm.
We were making some insane rolls. That was the most fun that I ever had. Where it was like.
It came down to one save.
Our flesh wounds.
It was a 6+ save that Keegan had to make, and if he didn't make this one save, a 6, there was like a 90% chance he was going to lose the game. And the one time he was able to make this save, the only time that mattered, he made this 6+ save, and he won the game. Just barely pulled it out of his pants.
Stop drinking my drink. Okay, you have your own. So we could not kill models in that game to save our lives. Every single roll, so it was a 3, so a flesh wound. Then the next time I got attacked, 2 for a flesh wound. And then it just kept going on and on like that. It was the most cutthroat, the most on your seat game of Kill Team ever. And then the one that we played.
Which the Necrons won, as we have said many times, and I will keep saying it because I don't want you to forget.
In all fairness, I was attempting to extract my revenge on those Necrons, but the hatred of the Tyranids got me. The hatred of the Tyranid was strong, and they jumped up in my grill.
That was their one downside. Is I think with the Tyranids, the Tyranid player decided to go after both people on both sides, so he split his forces. So he kind of
held out pretty well, but
So I was kind of by myself. I let them do all the battling until like turn 3, I think it was, and then I kind of jumped into the fray. What'd you do? You just kind of sat back for the most part. There was a terrain
shooting.
There was a bunker. He had a stealth suit and a bunker that you could get into, and no one can shoot. Like Tyranids and Necrons have very powerful
you can't melee through
melee. And so do the Harlequins. They have very powerful melee, and you can't get into the bunker if there's an enemy unit inside the bunker. So you have to shoot them out of the bunker.
I think in that particular game, if you had mopped me up, you would have so easily been able to mop me up. Charge the Tau from outside of cover where they can't do their deadly overwatch on you, and then just jump from combat to combat. Especially with the Nid, with the Tyranid on the one side. I think if you mopped me up, you could have let the Necrons be worn out a little more. And then, if you survived, you might not have survived against the Tyranids. But if you did, whoever survived would have been able to face that a little more. Was it an Overlord that got you? It just. His insane regeneration,
it seemed like a very overpowered commander for the Necrons. Is their overlord? He has a big Reaper's scythe, and he doesn't die.
Yeah.
He just every turn regenerates a wound every turn. So you literally just have to focus fire him, and you have to do it from range because if you try to melee him, he will just cut you. And I literally had about 7 models attacking this guy in melee, Harlequins, and I couldn't even get a flesh wound on him. He wouldn't even. He had I think 5 wounds. He started with 5. He started out with 5 wounds. We couldn't even get him down to 1 wound. The Tyranid player and myself were both trying to attack this guy, and it just didn't work.
So that's Kill Team. So even though it hasn't worked out so well yet, you still like Kill Team a lot.
I do, and I think if I had more options with Dark Eldar, once I put some more like witches and some of my commanders together.
So not that you don't have options, you just don't have them assembled yet.
I think I would like to see more options with Dark Eldar, like bringing in the other troop choice.
Kind of like I wish the Solitaire would be in the Harlequins as a commander.
Right, and like Rax. We don't have Rax. All we have are the witches and the Kabbalite warriors.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, we have choices for commanders are the Archon, which are Kabbalite, the Witch, which is for the cults, or not the Witch, the Succubus.
And you're supposed to have, you have a homunculus commander.
And we have a homunculus as well, but we don't have any homunculus troops.
Mm-hmm. So he's a buff, he's not by lore-wise buffing what he's designed to be the commander for.
In 40K, they're supposed to buff the toughness of other Coven units.
Yeah.
But now he's kind of just a free agent.
So for you, you're hoping that in the future you get some more Dark Eldar stuff.
Yes.
I think that's a fair point. I still think the Dark Eldar are in a pretty good place for Kill Team. They're definitely, I think they have more options in how to play than Harlequins. I don't think they're as strong, but I think they have more options in how to play.
Not as strong as Harlequins.
Yeah.
Because if we played a match, 2 matches actually. I played my Dark Eldar, got completely basically wiped by his Harlequins. Then we switched, and it was still a pretty close match.
It was close, yeah.
So I don't know what could be done with the Dark Eldar, but I'm going to need to look at the rules some more and see if I can't find a better list.
Yeah, I think you need to bring more witches. I think when we played, I think you played with mostly Kabbalite warriors.
Because that's all pretty much the models I had put together.
Yeah, I think if you put some more witches in there, you'll do a little better. But so in the process of this, you're going to slowly start getting your 40K army built back up, hopefully.
One can only hope. Not just one. Many people hope and pray that I put my models together.
To be honest, Dark Eldar are probably one of the sexiest armies.
That is pretty much the only reason that I chose them. I looked at all the different factions, and I just, even though they're just a glass hammer, and if you don't use them properly, they can be catastrophic to lose with.
But they're arguably one of the most beautiful armies.
Cool-looking army.
And once you know how to use them and know how to use them well, they're a top army.
You just gotta practice with them.
And I love painting them. I'll put a picture up here of one of his Christmas gifts that I got him. I've been wanting to paint a Talos since I saw the model, so I finally did.
And he gave it to me for a Christmas present, which is awesome.
Yeah. So Adeptus Titanicus, we're going to play a little bit of that in a bit. We've played one game prior.
Yep, we were still just learning. We made a few mistakes. Hopefully, we got most of the mistakes kind of worked out. We might make 1 or 2 here or there.
So we're going to play a game of that in a little bit. We're not going to show the first couple of turns if nothing happens. We'll show some of the most exciting parts. If you want to see full-length battle reports that go step by step, there's plenty of those on YouTube. I feel like we should show the more interesting parts, and we'll talk about it a little bit later, but that'll be a separate video.
Honestly, it is kind of slow at the beginning because the map is just kind of big for the movement distances of the units, so it takes like a turn or 2 just to get into combat distance.
So what are you, with the hobby, what are your goals coming up? What are some of the things you want to work on to get better at? Do more of.
I know a lot of people want me to get more of my bigger models put together, like my Tantalus, which we won't talk about. But small steps first. I kind of want to get a Kill Team team together. Mm-hmm. That way, I can at least play something.
I'll put a model, picture of one of your models up in this video.
Yeah, I mean,
we don't have one in the light box, but I think one of the ones on my Facebook page is pretty good. He does paint really well.
Just takes me forever.
And hey, it's valid. It's a valid way to paint.
So, Kill Team.
You want to get your Kill Team stuff done.
That way I can at least when we go to our group of gamer guys, our gamer buddies, I can at least play something with them. Then after that, I mean, once you get a Kill Team squad, I mean that's your basic infantry for a 40K game done for the most part. So once you get your basic infantry done, then you can start doing some of your elites and then some of your HQs and get up to the vehicles and whatnot. So I mean that's my goal. Hopefully I'll start that soon.
My next thing I'm going to be starting, I've got a whole bunch of stuff that I'm working on for painting. I got to do terrain,
Some commission stuff.
Commission stuff. I've almost finished my Knights army. I've got all the Knights except the Halverins put together. I've got Tau that I'll never finish painting. I've got so much Tau, but I'm really looking forward to the Genestealer cult release that's coming up.
I haven't heard much about. I mean, I haven't read much about it.
We'll talk about it in a little bit, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's coming out. It's almost like a complete new overhaul, new models, new rules. The Codex is finally coming out. Topic for a different video, but that's what I'm gonna play. So yeah, that's that. Painting wise, are you looking at an airbrush or anything? I just got a new one.
I'm not that big into painting right now. Maybe in years to come when I actually get better at it, it's a possibility. I'm not going to discount it, but right now, no, just good old paintbrush.
I do most of my stuff with the paintbrush. I like the airbrush, but it's just more convenient in in the hobby room to paint with the paintbrush for most of the time. Okay, well, I don't think there's really anything else left to talk about. You haven't read any of the books, have you? From the Black Library or anything?
I don't do much reading. The only thing I really read is just kind of basic lore stuff from like the Codex and whatnot.
Yeah.
So you're going to use my Christmas present I got you?
All of them, yeah. I really like the new paint pot.
The paint pot, yeah. So for late Christmas present, I got him one of the gray paint pot. It's got the agitators and the brush tip makers or whatever they are, and
the form the tip of the brush.
Yeah, and the extra large base model holder. So
yeah, it'll be in videos. You'll see me using it.
I actually got one of the small ones for myself because I figured it might jumpstart me into actually just forcing me to start my my Kill Team models. It might make it a little easier so I can actually keep with the program.
Yeah. Very cool. All right, that's all we got for today. Again, check out the other video. You're gonna be looking for the battle report for Adeptus Titanicus, and the after action review will be a couple different videos for that. Again, if you please check out the Patreon page, it helps support us. New models. We're going to be looking into scale 75 miniatures soon. Again, I can't do a lot of that unless I get support from you guys, just because I have bills and other things that I've got going on. But the more that I can get, the more support that I can get, the better things that I can put out there. And next month we're going to be painting up a special model for release in the Patreon scale. If you go down to
the last one, I believe.
The last two tiers, I believe, you can be entered in for a drawing to receive it for free. And not going to give away what it is, but we'll be dropping hints on the Facebook page as February rolls around. Have a good night, and please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share.
See you next time.